films, cassettes. Gosh, I miss those times, man.
Alright lads, welcome to my speedrun of this dev server update. I am a little bit ill, so I apologise if my voice is a bit off. First up, we have the A7E. This is a rank 7 jet attacker, a batter rating 10.7. Can carry a total of these 6 Warlight ER guided missiles. Take a quick look at them. In the menu here, you can see that they contain 264 kilograms of TNT. This makes them incredibly powerful. These are guided bombs, not guided missiles. You will have to drop them pretty much above an enemy and let them glide onto a target. These are TV guided, but they do feature thermal imaging, allowing you to easily identify targets on the battlefield. These are going to be real good for simulator and realistic ground attack battles. Next up, we have the USS Mitcher. This is a rank 2 batter rating 4.3 destroyer, obviously in the American tech tree. This is in many ways a step backwards compared to most of the early world destroyers, as it only features 2 guns. We see it here, we compare it to the Fletcher, which has 5 5-inch guns. The USS Mitcher only has 2 5-inch guns, although they are actually more modern guns, but quantity has a quality all of its own. You can see here we have a 5-inch gun at the front and another 5-inch at the stern, as well as these little shitty guns here. I'm not going to be playing it, I've obviously pretty much got that anyway. It'll be a nice new low tier ship, but it's going to get dunked on by, well, the USS Moffat really. Alright, and next up we have the F4E Phantom II. This obviously isn't a new jet, but you can see here we do have some new missiles, or as I should say, guided bombs. These are the same guided bombs as we saw in the A7E a few seconds ago, except you only carry 4 of these instead of 6 that you can find on the A7E. Like the A7E, these do contain a shitload of TNT if I can find them. They are here, they don't have a thing for some reason, but they are there. It also has the 260 kilos of TNT filler. Again, they are not infrared guided. They do have thermal imaging in the warhead. So again, great for ground realistic and simulator battles. Alright, up next we have the Germans, and we've got a new premium. This is the MiG-21 SPSK. It's basically a MiG-21 PFM. If we take a quick look at the PFM, find it, it's over here. It's basically this plane, but if we go back to the German one and look at its weaponry, notice that we do get R60 missiles. Now note these are not the R60Ms that are found on the MiG-23s and the later MiG-27, so these are only rear aspect lock missiles. They're still very powerful, sorry. Now you do have a choice on this premium. You can either take 2 missiles and a cannon, or 2 missiles and a flare pod. Now personally, I'd kind of go towards the flare pod. As you can see here, it's a batter rating 10.0 and a rank 6, so you are going to get up tiered a fair amount and go up against those very powerful air-to-air missiles. So the flares and the 2 R60s are probably your best bet. You do have some good S-24 rockets if you want to do some ground attack. You do only get 2, but they fire 1 at a time, so 2 different launches. You can also carry bombs, got 250 kilo and 500 kilo bombs, but you don't really want to be using them. Air-to-air missiles, we also have the R13M. These are infrared guided missiles, the modernized version of the R13s, but you have the R60, so why would you use them? Again, you can either take guns or flares, but not both. We then also have the R3Rs, which are the radar guided missiles, or the semi-active radar homing. Again, if you've got the R60s, just choose them. Not much to say, much more really. It's got a really nice camouflage. I might pick this up myself, to be honest. We then have the MiG-21 BIS SAU. This is a rank 7 batter rating 11.0, and it will be the top jet for the German tech tree, coming up behind the MiG-21 FM. Like the MiG-21 BIS in the Soviet tech tree, you can take 4 R60s and 2 R13Ms, or you can take 4 R60s and the 2 R3Rs, the radar guided missiles, or you can just take 6 R6s, which is probably what I'd take, or the 2 R3R, sorry. Not really too much to say about this jet. It's the exact same as the MiG-21 BIS in the Soviet tech tree, basically just a copy and paste to be honest, but it is a very welcome addition. Germany did lack a top tier jet. To be honest, the F4F is alright, but the MiG-21 BIS is where it's at. Everyone wants that East German jet. We then come on to probably the cutest vehicle coming in this update, the THEIVES. 1A4. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. But anyway, it does have a thermal imager. It's actually really good thermal quality as well. It's going to be very, very powerful battery rating 7.0. It's a rank 5 battery rating 7.0 vehicle. But it does get access to DM63, the same as the Marder A2, I believe. So 66mm pen at battery rating 7.0. Not the best, but it is APDS, so it's going to have a very, very fast muzzle velocity, making it pretty good against helicopters, jets, and other light and medium tanks, to be honest. We then have an upgrade in the Weasel 1A2. Weasel? Did I say that right? I don't know. Anyway, this retains the same thermal imager, as you can see here. You can take the TOW 2, the TOW 2A, and the TOW 2B, giving the Germans top-down attack capability at battery rating 9.0. This is a full 2 battery ratings above the stock Weasel. Obviously, you get that great ATGM launcher. You don't have the 20mm cannon anymore, but I think it's a great trade-off. Something that probably is underappreciated is just how small these vehicles are. See, it takes up just one square here. We then also have the Ocelot, probably Sterling Archer's favourite tank if he ever played the game. Nice little Archer reference for all you people that watch that. This is basically Germany's new anti-aircraft vehicle. Like the Weasel 1A2, it's a rank 6 battery rating 9.0. It basically has 4 anti-air missiles on man pads, standing for man-portable air defense systems. It has the same thermal imager as well as the, I don't even know what they're called actually, Liga Faust, I believe that's what they're called. They're basically just air-to-air missiles. Kind of only want to fire these at aircraft coming directly towards you or directly away from you. They only have a 10G maximum overload, I believe, so they're very, very poor when trying to track a target. Sorry. So it's kind of going to be like the thing in the what's it called? The little car thing in the Japanese factory. It's going to be like the Type 93, where it looks cool, but it's not really effective on the battlefield that much because it just can't track an incoming jet. Especially if a jet's incoming and maneuvering, you're never going to hit it basically. So it's nice to have in the game, but I don't think it's going to be better than a Gepard. But let's be honest, there's nothing better than a Gepard. Alright, it's time to cover Mother Russia, or the Soviet territory. And up first, we have the MiG-23M LD. I believe this is a modernised, incredibly competent fighter jet version of the thing. I believe the early MiG-23s were interceptors, and this variant was adapted, to move its centre of gravity back and to make its wings a bit better or something like that. It's a rank 7 battery rating 11.0 jet fighter, obviously in the Soviet territory. If we zoom in here, we can see we've got these absolutely massive missiles here. So these are the R60s on the belly of the plane, and these are the new missiles. We go into the modifications. These are the R24R and Ts. We go into our loadouts, and I can find it. You can see that the R24T is an all-aspect or infrared guided missile, and the R24Rs, these ones, the R24Rs, these are semi-active radar homing. So for these ones, you will need to get a missile lock, but you will be able to fire them from directly head-on, basically. I'd personally go for the IR with the two R60s. These things are absolute monsters. This is like 5.56 and this is like 308. You can launch these from miles away. The plane itself is also incredibly good. You can only describe it as a fight. It's like a Zero with a R2800 double WASP engine. Got so much power and it's very, very good at turning. We also see in game, doesn't seem to be, okay. See here that these are the new chaff pod or flare pods. Instead of only having a few, you can carry 72 of these bad boys. But it's basically probably going to be the strongest jet in top tier RB, or I'd imagine it will be. It's fast, it's got good missiles, and it's got good flares. So a great addition to the Soviet territory. Not sure they needed it, to be honest, but they're adding it anyway. Up next, we have the Sprut M, or the Sprut Modern, or the 2S25M, very catchy name. This is basically the exact same as the Sprut that we had last patch, this one that I've not quite unlocked yet. But anyway, this is coming after it. It is 0.7 battery rating higher. And what do you get for that? Well, we have top tier thermal sight, third generation thermal sight, so very, very high quality. We also have 3BM46. This gives us a stupid amount of penetration, frankly. 532mm. We still do have that real good auto-loading system found in the T72 series, I believe. But it's 7.1 second reload. You still only have 5 degrees of gun depression, but that goes without saying for a Soviet vehicle. The armor of the tank is still absolutely dog shit. The gun barrel is actually the thickest part of armor on the or maybe not actually. Okay, so that's actually thicker, but you're gonna get killed by 50 cals from the side. The front, maybe you'll bounce 50 cals, but you certainly aren't going to be bouncing any incoming main battle tank or light tank rounds. I do think this tank will be very, very good. The Sprut has never been the most mobile tanks, but this added firepower will be a huge benefit. We then come on to the newest top tier attack helicopter coming to the game. This is the Mi-28NM, Mi-28N standing for Night and M standing for Modernized. We do have this radar here, but it doesn't seem to be functional in game as of yet. This version basically gets rid of a few of the sensors. I believe this is new. You don't have the things sticking out the front like you do on the other Mi-28N. If we go into the modifications, we can see that we do have the 9M123, which is the Chrysanthemum missiles. Another thing though, we can also carry 16 of the attacker missiles now, which is something that you couldn't do on the regular Mi-28N. You've got more of the old stuff if you want to carry that. I believe you can also carry it. Yeah. You can carry 16 attackers and some rockets as well if you want. Or we can carry the Chrysanthemums, which have 1,200mm of penetration, the same as the Hellfire Ks, I believe. We can see here in the firing range, it's only 6 kilometers. That's a 6 kilometer firing range. Okay, so the attackers are as well, actually. Didn't realize that. We can only carry 8 Chrysanthemums compared to the 16 attackers. So it's kind of a trade-off. You can see here that the Chrysanthemums have 6.1 kilos of warhead, whereas the attackers only have 4.5, with 400mm less penetration as well, to be honest. Kind of don't see why you'd use the Chrysanthemums over the attackers when you carry double the amount, but hey-ho. Apart from that, it's the exact same as the Mi-28. I think these engines might be slightly more powerful, but it's not really going to make a difference in helicopter gameplay, is it? You want to stay low and fast and piss everybody off, to be honest. Alright, on to the Brit Bongs. And we can see here that we've got the Jaguar GR1A. This is a battle rating 10.7 and it is also a rank 7. This is coming after the other Jaguar, the Tech Tree here. So this is the GR1 and this is the GR1A. This is battle rating 10.7, but what do you get in return? You can see here that we have the AM9Gs for the Jaguar GR1. We also have the same Gs for the Jaguar GR1A. So what is different? Well, you can see here that we have this. This is basically a T-pod. It's a laser and electrical optical targeting. Excuse me. We go down here. It's basically just a modern T-pod. It does have thermal imaging, so this is one of the first jets where you can actually find targets using thermals. It's still going to be really, really good for simulator and top tier ground realistic battles. Anyway, it's basically just a laser guarded bomb. I'm not entirely sure why you would ever use this at top tier. These bombs aren't amazing at the minute though, to be honest. They don't really like tracking and they seem to fall very, very slowly, which usually means you overshoot the target and like the laser just stops tracking at that point, because obviously this gimbal can't go all the way back. You have to drop them from quite high up, and the laser just doesn't seem, the bomb doesn't seem to track. But anyway, moving on, we have the 2 boomerangs. Ignore my decals, I've had these decals on since absolutely ages. Probably going to get out exposed as a misogynist for that. But basically, they've had new reskins. They're now high definition skins. They look very, very pretty, if I do say so myself. Up next, we have the Yeast of Arc. This is a massive anti-aircraft gun, although it pretty much is going to be just an anti-aircraft gun. You can see here that the gun is mounted very, very high up on the... Well, it's a very, very tall vehicle. You only have 7 degrees of gun depression. That is obviously only off the back of the vehicle, as the commander's cab, or the driver's cab, sorry. It's obviously going to block the gun. You aren't really going to be able to shoot forwards of the tank, and if there's like an R3 or a small tank here, you're not going to be able to depress your gun to shoot at them. While this might be a cool Mad Max meme type vehicle, it's not really going to be that practical in game. At 4.3, you know, the points are pretty fast, to be honest. I'm pretty surprised this is such a high battle rating for what it is. It's just a 20mm cannon. But anyway, a lot of people are excited about this. It is kind of cool. I don't think it's going to be massively impressive though. And finally, for the Brit Bongs, we have the first Iron Duke class battleship in the game. Probably the most modern full battleship in the game. The Hyuga, I think, is actually a battle. Don't get me wrong on that. Might actually not be. Anyway, this has 10 13.5 inch guns. You have 2 super firing at the front of the ship, or the bow. 2 super firing at the stern, and then 1 in an X turret mount, or a Q turret actually. These guns are absolutely massive. They're not the biggest, however. The Hyuga does have 14-inch guns. But what we do have is a massive amount of TNT filler, 88 kilograms of TNT, giving it 96mm of explosive penetration. These are the largest HE filler guns in the game, or the largest explosive mass, sorry. We do also have the 13-inch APC Mark IIIA, which gives us nearly 600mm of penetration. This is probably my most anticipated vehicle coming this patch. I am a Royal Navy fanboy though, don't at me. But this is a real good ship. I hope we do get some more British battleships, because let's be honest, can't have a game without battleships without having the Royal Navy. And this is an absolute beauty of a ship. It's well modelled, it's well liked, and it's just sexy as fuck. Unfortunately, this patch, Japan doesn't get anything, which is a little bit of a bummer. They don't get anything so far. Alright, the Chinese, or should I say Taiwanese, and this is the V12D, rank 2, battle rating 2.3. It's a flying bus. It's never going to fly it, to be honest. It's got 2 7.62mm machine guns. It can carry a 500 pound bomb or 2 250 pound bombs. I don't know why they keep on adding low tier Chinese vehicles. Literally no one is going to fly them other than just unlocking rank 3, I believe. Like, this is here. Why would you ever fly this? Who knows. Anyway, next tank, we have the VLT-11. This is a rank 7, battle rating 9.3. I believe it's a tank destroyer. Take a look here. Oh, it's a light tank actually. It's quite surprising. I assumed that they're in a tank destroyer. Now this, like the Class 3P in the German tech tree, is absolutely massive. See here next to that IS-2. It's bigger than an IS-2. But this tank is actually really fast, which surprised me. I thought it would be quite sluggish, but no, it's actually pretty fast when it accelerates. Going to its modifications, we do have the upgraded DTW2-105. Gives us 430mm of penetration and 251mm at an angle of 60 degrees. We also have proxy fused HE for some reason, as well as a tandem warhead missile. This will be very good in an up tier, because you'll be able to take out helicopters and the more heavily armed tanks. A battle rating 9.3, this APFSDS is very good. We do also have a heat round. We also have very good thermal imaging, as well as a laser rangefinder. This tank isn't going to be groundbreaking, especially seeing as it's so tall, and it only has 4 degrees of gun depression, so bear that in mind. You aren't really going to be able to go hold down in this tank. Let's be honest, its armour is pretty dog shit. The barrel of the gun is actually the thickest part, ironically. But yeah, it's going to be fun to meme around in this thing, but it's not going to be game changing. Next up, we have the Italians, and we have the VCC 80/30. Basically just a Dardo with a 30mm gun. This is a rank 7, battle rating 10.0, and it comes after the Dardo, as you'd imagine here. So this is rank 7, so it's going to be quite a long grind to get it. I think it's 390k. So the Dardo has a 25mm gun, whereas this has a 30mm gun. You get the Mark 258 round. This has 116mm of penetration and is pretty fast because it is APFSDS. Now the gun of this tank does fire pretty slowly. It's only the fire rate actually. Okay, it doesn't say the fire rate, but it is quite slow. It's like the fire rate of the original M3 Bradley. It's like boom, 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 compared to the Dardo's incredibly high rate of fire. We do have some pretty good missiles. We have the TOW-2, the TOW-2A, and the TOW-2B, making it very versatile. The TOW-2B is a top-down attack missile, whereas the TOW-2A is a tandem-shaped warhead, allowing you to penetrate even the most heavily armoured Soviet and Chinese tanks. Up next we have the dreaded French, and this is the rank 4, battle rating 6.0 AD4. This is a new premium vehicle coming to the French tech tree, and to be honest, I don't really know why they've added it. It's basically just a copy and paste of the AD4 already in the tech tree, located here. It has exactly the same guns on weapons, sorry. You have all these shitty French missiles which don't really do anything. You also have torpedoes and bombs, including the 2,000-pound bomb, making it very, very deadly. But these rockets are kind of shitty. Alright, we now have the AJ-37. This is the bigger brother of the Viggen. This is basically just a ground attack version of that same plane. Your stock weapon is two 30mm cannons. You can carry the RB-24Js as well as the regular RB-24s, which is basically an AIM-9B and an AIM-9J respectively. You can carry flares on this aircraft, however you can either carry guns or flares. You can't carry both at the same time. You can either carry two RB-24Js and two cannons, or two RB-24Js and two flare pods. You can also carry the RB-75, which are basically just the Hawkeyes that I mentioned earlier. Or not the Hawkeye, sorry. It's basically just an air-to-ground missile. They're not the best. Got some 13.5cm rockets. I think you can actually carry them on the Viggen as well. This plane isn't really amazing, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure why they've added it. It's a little bit underwhelming. There's no reason to use this over using the JA-37, to be honest. It does get the same rockets. You just don't get those air-to-ground missiles, which... It's something that I could live with. So you've already got this one. I don't see why you'd ever want to grind that. We do also have the Stritchford 9040B. This is basically the same as the 9040 Bill. This one here, except it doesn't have the Bofors infantry light lethal missiles. I do apologise, I am quite ill. My voice is going when I'm recording this. But we do have the thermal imager here, as well as a laser rangefinder, and the whatever the hell that is, 90 APDS rounds. These are only the basic rounds though, they aren't the 171mm as found on the 9040C. This one. Yeah, so you don't get the M/01. But it is battle rating 8.3, so it's going to go very well with the 104, the 103C, and whatever the hell that word is. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I don't want to offend any of my Swedish viewers, as well as this, the IKV-91 105. So it isn't going to be able to hang out with the other Stritchfordens at 9.7 and 10.0, but in an 8.3 lineup, it's going to be very, very effective. I'd be very surprised if this wasn't up tier to like 9.0. It'll go pretty well alongside the 105. I think this is a little bit too strong for 8.3. We'll see though. It probably will. It is going to be a pretty good vehicle though, so it's a nice little addition for the Swedish tech tree. Alright, and finally we have the Israeli tech tree. This is new to War Thunder, this update. We're only getting these two planes in the next update, however. So if you do pre-order one of these packs, you will not be able to grind anything with them, apart from your crew XP. Now we do have the Spitfire LF Mark 9E. So this is the Mark 9 that is very, very famous for its incredibly high climb rate of 31.8 meters per second. We do also have the 150 octane fuel to go along with that with it. Now in game, you usually see this aircraft as the Mark 9C, which has two 21mm cannons and four 7.62mm machine guns. However, this has two cannons and two 12.7 machine guns. Quickly looking at these are the early war belts. Are they? Yeah, these are the early war belts for the Americans, so you don't get that incredibly good APIT belt found on most late war American planes. But I think this is going to be a brilliant. I think it's going to be a brilliant little premium. Quite high silver line modifier, not the highest though. The battle rating 5.7 it might get dunked on by the BF-109Ks and stuff like that, but just that paint scheme alone is so beautiful. Black and red and whatever that is. But yeah, it's not going to be anything spectacular. You can carry some rockets on the wings, which are the 8cm Blast Rocket Olicon. Not entirely sure. Please don't kill me, Israeli viewers. You can also carry two 250-pound bombs as well. You can also pre-order the A4E Late Israeli edition. Now this is the same A4E as that's in the American tech tree. Bloody loads of these things. You've got the A4E Early, and the A for B here. But this one, it's the late modification, so it's obviously going to be a little bit more modern. You can carry the AGM-62A Walleye. This is the same thing that I showed you at the start. 264 kilos of TNT. So these are very, very advanced. You can only carry 2 of them. You can carry 2 of them as well as the AIM-9Bs. You also got a very wide selection of bombs. 1000, 750, 200, 500. The same bombs that we know and love from the American tech tree, basically. This is going to be a very, very good ground strike aircraft. However, it isn't going to be useful in the next update. Israel doesn't have a ground forces lineup yet. That will be coming in the future. You can't actually take this thing into tank RB and use these rockets, to be honest. Could use them for striking ground targets in realistic battles, but then why wouldn't you just use rockets or bombs? But when Israel's tank forces are introduced to the game, this will be a very, very good ground attack aircraft. Battle rating 8.7. You will kind of get up-tiered and face some of the more powerful jets like the MiG-21 PFM, as well as the MiG-21 F-13. You might get bored a little bit if you're trying to get this to grind, but again, there's no Italian, bloody hell, there is no Israeli tech tree coming in the next update. You might want to hold off, to be honest, before you unlock this. Alright, that's pretty much everything, lads. There are a few other changes. I'd highly recommend looking through the change or the patch notes yourself, because I might have missed something. My most favourite vehicle is this patch is going to be the Iron Duke, or the Marlborough. That's how you pronounce it for any non-British speakers. Marlborough. Yeah. Burrow. It's not Burrow. It's Burrow. Marlborough. Anyway, I do apologise for my voice. I know I sound like shit. I've had like 15 cough syrup medicines. I'm coughing my head up as I'm recording this, but hopefully it was still watchable, lads. Thank you very much for watching these videos and all my videos. Thank you very much, lads. I'll try and recover now. See you later.
Which will give you a unique... Alright, lads, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel. You can also leave a like and a comment, which again also boosts me in the algorithm, helping my channel to grow. You can also follow me on Twitter as well as Twitch. And if you're a huge fan of the channel, you can become a member of the YouTube channel, which will give you a unique icon next to your comment, in both comments under videos and on YouTube live streams. Once again, thank you very much for watching this far into the video, lads, and I'll see you in the next one.